Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. And today, we're visiting the Battleship Texas. Texas is the last of the American battleships that I would classify as a turret farm. That's an official term, by the way. Look it up in the glossary below. Texas, like other first and second generation dreadnought battleships, and even some early super dreadnoughts, features gun turrets spread out along the whole length of the ship. American battleships are fairly unique in the early dreadnought period in that all of our gun turrets are on the center line. Many other turret farm battleships have wing turrets as well, all over the side of the ship. This is done intentionally. Dreadnoughts during that time period are slow, so their engineering spaces don't take up much room, which means they've got more room all over the ship to drop these turrets in. Fire control is inaccurate, so having more projectiles you can sling at a target means you're more likely to get a hit. During the Spanish-American War, just 2% of shots hit the target, so you need more high-caliber barrels to get those shots. The triple gun turret is still a new and untrusted technology. Plus, that makes a much larger hole in the ship for that barbette, which makes it less structurally sound. Some countries never willingly adopt a triple gun turret. Germany, for example, their last generation of dreadnoughts, the Bismarcks, still has twin gun turrets, as do the classes of battleships after her. So the only way to increase the firepower is to just slap more turrets on there. And furthermore, there is a concern that if a shell hits near a pair of super firing turrets, it'll knock both of those turrets out, and then you've lost a significant amount of your firepower. Whereas if a shot hits a ship like Battleship Texas, it might knock out one or two turrets, but there's still several that are able to fire. In practice, however, this didn't end up being the case. Ships with wing-mounted turrets have all these guns and all these guys in these guns, but they can only fire half or two-thirds in any given engagement. It's like the German battleships with a hexagonal gun arrangement, four on the corners and one each front and back, can only fire 4 of those turrets to each side. So even though they've got more gun barrels than Texas, Texas can fire more shells at once. Also, when you spread out these turrets all over the length of the ship, you're spreading out these massive magazine spaces. So almost anywhere your ship is hit, it could start a massive explosion, destroying the entire vessel. This happens at Jutland to a couple of British battle cruisers, and even some of the ships that aren't lost get hit a disproportionate number of times in the turrets compared to other things. If you're reading the damage reports from Jutland, turret knocked out of action, turret knocked out of action, magazine hit and blew up, magazine hit and blew up, turret knocked out of action. Like, the turret farms just mean that wherever a shell hits, one of them is getting knocked out. Furthermore, all of these individually armored turrets are creating more weight because you're not concentrating all that weight into a handful of turrets. And so, particularly when you see the transition into the treaty era, you see a smaller number of turrets concentrated in one area. Ships like Nelson and Rodney and the French Dunkirk, Strasbourg, Richelieu, and Jean Bart, where they concentrate all their guns up forward, and with Richelieu, Jean Bart, and Dunkirk and Strasbourg, where they concentrate all their guns in just 2 turrets, which are essentially 2 twin turrets grafted together in the same gun house. Take this to the extreme. We are now limiting the amount of surface area that is gun turrets, and therefore magazine spaces. And because all your magazines are concentrated in one space, you can heavily armor that small section of the ship and leave the rest of the ship relatively less armored, part of the all-or-nothing armor scheme. Texas still has the old graduated armor scheme. However, the next class of battleships, the Nevadas, transition to an all-or-nothing scheme because they're able to remove the amidships turret, turn that entire midships area into engineering spaces, and now anything outside of the forward and aft end of the turrets can be unarmored, and anything in the middle is important, engines and magazines. In order to keep the same number of barrels, when the center turret is removed from the Nevada design, 2 of the turrets are turned into triple turrets. Other countries look at this and they don't quite like the idea. When 1 turret is hit, you lose 3 barrels instead of 2. But the United States looks at it and they go, oh, why does the Nevada class only have the same number of turrets as the Texas? And the next class, the Pennsylvanias, they go to all triple turrets so that they now have 12 14-inch barrels. Oh, that is impressive firepower. And when you compare it to Japanese ships of the same time period that have 12 14-inch guns, they've got 6 turrets all paired down the center of the ship, which leaves them still as turret farms, very susceptible to magazine explosions. You look at comparable British ships of the same generation, and they've only got 5 13.5-inch twin turrets, so 10 barrels instead of 12, or 4 twin 15-inch turrets, so 8 barrels instead of 12, giving the American ships not just more ability to hit a target, but more shells that might hit a target. So, the United States, during the standard type, loves the 4-turret layout. You've got equivalent firepower whether you're chasing a target or running from a target, and you've got twice that on the broadside. It's not until the Washington Naval Treaty limits the weight of ships that they go to what we now associate with the American battleship, which is 2 triple turrets forward and 1 aft, as seen on North Carolina, Alabama, Massachusetts, and the 4 Iowas that are preserved. So 7 out of the 8 museum battleships you can visit today. But that is not at all the norm or the preferred. When the United States has the treaty restrictions removed, they go right back to their preferred method, like the standard type battleships, and the Montanas feature 4 turrets, 2 forward and 2 aft, but they're still the American preferred triple. Quad turrets are designed, nobody really likes them, they tend to have mechanical failures. European countries tend to prefer the twin turrets even into World War II, with last generation ships like Bismarck and Vanguard going with that. Less barrels knocked out when a turret is hit, and you still have that balanced battery. But in my opinion, the American standard types with the 4 triple turrets is the height of battleship design and development. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments section down below what turret arrangements you like best. Do you like turret farms? Do you like Agincourt with a different turret for every day of the week? Do you like the European style with twin turrets or the American style with triple turrets? Let us know down below. If you'd like to support the ongoing restoration of a turret farm, Battleship Texas is the last one in the world, the last dreadnought, and a really unique ship. Like I was talking about the other 7 battleships, they're 3 different classes, but they're all so similar. Texas is like stepping back into a whole nother world, even for someone like me who lives in battleship land. So there's a link in the description below to their YouTube channel. Be sure to check out the videos that Battleship Texas is producing about their ship, and a link to their donate page. If you would like to support their more than $35 million restoration dry docking that's coming up so that they can keep this unique turret farm in operation for decades to come, I highly encourage you to join me in supporting them down below. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. Remember, for this video, if you'd like to support somebody, support Battleship Texas, but to support Battleship New Jersey, you can like, share, and subscribe so more people find out about our museum and our channel. Thanks for watching.